This is the KRAUS Standart Pro 30-inch undermount single-bowl 16-gauge stainless steel kitchen sink, KHU 100-30. After spending some time with it, I thought it might be helpful to share what I've noticed so far. I went with the 30-inch single-bowl version because I wanted more open space than my old divided sink. That was the main reason. I cook at home a lot, and the double-bowl setup always felt limiting when I had big pans, sheet trays, or a large pot to wash. This one gives me a lot more room to work. The bowl is deep, about 10 inches, and the inside space feels wide enough for most of the things I use daily. I can lay a baking sheet down flatter than I could before. I can rinse a big stock pot without fighting the sides of the sink. That part has been very nice in real use. The stainless steel feels thick. I have used cheaper stainless sinks before, and those always had that thin, tinny sound when water hit them or when I dropped a spoon. This one sounds more muted. It does not feel hollow. When I set a heavy pan in it, it feels steady. The sound padding underneath also helps. Running water is still running water, so it is not silent, but it is quieter than the thinner sinks I have had. The garbage disposal sound is also more controlled. It has a lower, duller sound instead of that sharp rattling noise. The undermount look is clean. I like being able to wipe crumbs and water from the counter straight into the sink. There is no raised rim catching stuff around the edge. That is one of the main reasons I wanted an undermount sink in the first place. Installation is something I would take seriously. This is not a tiny sink, and it is not light. Mine needed a 33-inch base cabinet, and the cutout had to be right. If I were doing it again, I would still double-check the cabinet size, counter depth, and how the faucet lines and disposal sit underneath. The rear drain does help leave more room under the cabinet, but everything still needs to be planned. The included bottom grid is useful. I keep it in the sink most of the time because it protects the bottom from bigger scratches and keeps dishes lifted a little. It also helps when I rinse things because water can move under the dishes instead of everything sitting flat on the sink floor. But the grid is also one of the things I clean more than I expected. Food bits, grease, and soap can collect around the wires and the little rubber feet. If I leave it too long, it starts to feel grimy. I usually take it out and scrub underneath it. It is not hard, but it is one more cleaning step. The finished scratches. I expected some scratches because it is stainless steel, but the fine marks showed up pretty quickly. The grid helps with deeper marks, but it does not keep the sink looking new. If small scratches bother me a lot, this would be annoying. I have accepted that stainless steel gets used and marked up over time. Water spots are another thing I noticed. If I let water dry on the surface, the spots show. This depends on water hardness too, but in my kitchen, I have to wipe it down if I want it to look clean. A quick dry with a microfiber cloth makes a big difference. I do not do that every single time, but when I skip it, the sink looks more messy. Drainage is okay, but not great. The bottom is fairly flat, so water and crumbs do not always run straight to the drain by themselves. I use the sprayer to push coffee grounds, rice, and small food pieces toward the drain. It is not a huge problem, but I do notice it almost every day. The deep bowl is helpful, but it also changes how I stand at the sink. Because it is deep and mounted under the counter, I have to lean in more when I am washing a lot of dishes. If I spend a long time there, I can feel it in my lower back. I like the depth for hiding dishes and washing big items, but it is worth thinking about if I am shorter or if I already have back issues. Compared to other sinks I have used, this one feels heavier and quieter. The big single bowl is much more useful for how I cook. Compared to a double bowl sink, I lose the separate side for soaking or rinsing, but I do not really miss it. I would rather have one large open space. If I were worried before buying, my main questions would be about scratching, cleaning, and drainage. After using it, I would say those are fair concerns. This is not a sink that stays spotless on its own. It looks good when I wipe it down, but it needs regular cleaning. The grid helps, but the grid also needs cleaning. The drainage works, but I still use the sprayer often. I think this sink makes sense if I cook often, wash big cookware, and want one open basin. It also makes sense if I am okay with stainless steel looking used over time. If I want something that hides water spots better or needs less wiping, I might look at another material or a different finish. For my kitchen, I am happy with it. The size is the biggest win. The quiet feel is nice. The undermount setup makes the counter easier to clean. The downsides are real, especially the scratches, water spots, flat bottom, and cleaning the grid. None of those ruined it for me, but I would want to know about them before buying. So my relaxed take is this. If I need a large single-bowl sink and I do not mind normal stainless steel maintenance, the KRAUS Standart Pro KHU 100-30 is a practical choice. I would buy it for the space and the sturdy feel, not because it stays perfect. If you have any questions about daily use, installation, cleaning, or anything I did not cover, leave a comment and I will try to answer. If this video helped, please subscribe to the channel for more real product reviews. Thank you for watching.